Do you know the history of paperbacks?
No.
Paperbacks started as sort of like this cheaper way of producing books. So historically, traditional publishers were not interested in paperbacks. They would only sell the hardcover. Hardcovers were synonymous with prestige, literary culture. This is a book, right? A paperback is not a book. Sound familiar, right? This is like what we considered ebooks in the early 2000s. Basically, you have like mass market paperbacks, but they're often like these cheap novels, romance novels, smut novels. A lot of fiction was not seen as serious. And then you had what was called trade paperback. Now, trade paperback was often published after a successful hardcover, but those rights were often sold separately because the trade publishers wanted nothing to do with like a paperback. Well, one famous one is Stephen King. He had success in one of his early books with hardcover, but he only had like a $5,000 advance. His paperback rights were still his. And after the success of the hardcover, he sold his rights for the paperback version to a different publisher for $400,000.
Oh, hell yeah. Stephen King, you rule.
Right? This sort of went on for about like 15, 20 years from like the 1940s to the 1970s. I don't know when King's was, but could be even longer because basically the publishers were like, we don't do paperbacks. We're too cool. We're too fancy. We're prestigious. 1947, 95 million mass market paperbacks. By 1959, 12 years later, there were 286 million mass market paperbacks. And so that was the first time dollar sales of paperbacks exceeded hardcover trade books, right? And so over the 1960s and 1970s, basically the traditional publishers either acquired these paperback producers or started their own lines to take advantage of this.